Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bob Rotans, and I'm one of the owners of Mac and Bob's Restaurant. I founded our restaurant back 38 years ago in 1980. There are several reasons why I'm posting this on social media. One of those reasons is that what I'm going to attempt to describe to the best of my ability is the legal situation we found our business in. It is confusing, complicated, and unbelievable. Back in late May of this year, I got a call from a local attorney that we were about to be served with a class action suit for violating the U.S. Labor Department tip sharing rules. I called a lawyer, Todd Lisa at Gentry Locke, to look into this. Soon thereafter, we were served a class action suit from a lawyer in Texas. Totally confused, my lawyer explained to me we have been violating tip pooling by having our servers and bartenders tip out to the dishwashers. It is legal for servers to tip out bartenders, busboys, runners, and the hostess staff. Decades ago, I decided to have our servers tip our dishwashers instead of the host staff. In our view, the dishwasher has the most difficult job in the restaurant, especially on weekend nights. I did not know this was a violation. We did not pay our dishwashers sub-minimum wage and did not rely or depend on our hardworking servers and bartenders to supplement the dishwashers' wages. Before the class action suit was brought, we were paying our dishwashers anywhere from $9 to $12 per hour without any tips. The additional tip income made our dishwashers' hourly wage a very decent income. I have learned that many restaurants have been sued in class action suits for alleged unpaid wages. In many of those cases, I am told that the employer is not treating their employees fairly by, for example, not paying them overtime, requiring employees to give tips to managers. I want to be very clear on this point. Mac and Bob's has never pocketed a dime from this 1% tip to our hardworking dishwashers. 100% went to them. One of our dishwashers has worked for us for over 20 years and another for 10 years. Another dishwasher who has worked for us for 8 years decided to leave now that there was no additional tip income. On July 1st, the first day that the no-tip dishwasher policy was enforced at Mac and Bob's, I was walking into the back door by our courtyard and I was approached by 3 servers, Jose, Heather, and Vanessa. They were very concerned about our dishwashers not being tipped. I informed them that we were going to give all our dishwashers a $3 per hour raise immediately. On an 8-hour shift, that would equate to $24 gross wage increase to help them offset the lack of tip income. Additionally, many servers and bartenders are still voluntarily tipping the dishwashers. This policy of ours has been in place for decades, and we have had thousands of tipped employees work at Mac and Bob's over the years. I was totally open about this policy. We even had a printed tip envelope for the servers to put their tips in and stated 1% right on the envelope itself, not knowing that this was a violation, which is totally my fault. Not one employee ever mentioned any violation of the Fair Labor Standards Act. In a recent March 23, 2018 Washington Post article by Tim Carman, he writes, and I quote, "An investigation of more than 9,000 full-service restaurants from 2010 to 2012, the Labor Department's own wage and hour division found that nearly 84% of the establishments had some type of violation, including tip violations. National chains have recently settled tip-sharing violations. Houlihan's, $5 million, Bob Evans, $3 million, Ruby Tuesdays, $485,000. There was only one employee who filed this class action suit. This employee worked for us approximately 10 months and tipped dishwashers approximately $1,100. If a server's sales were $300, he or she would have made approximately $60. Then $3 was tipped to the dishwashers, whether there was 1 or 2 dishwashers on duty. Through our attorney, we offered this individual $5,000, nearly 5 times what he paid to the dishwashers during the 10 months that he worked at Mac and Bob's. He turned this offer down because there was much more bigger payout by moving forward with the lawsuit in court. What's shocking and unfair are the potential penalties for our practice of having dishwashers as tipped employees. Take the $1,100 that this individual paid to the dishwashers and double it to approximately $2,200. Then determine how many hours he worked as a server for 10 months, which was approximately 1,450 hours, and multiply that by $5.12, which is the difference between $7.25 minimum wage and the $2.13 we paid him as a tipped employee. That totals about $7,425. That figure is doubled to $14,850 Combine that with the $2,200, it's over $17,000. Plus we pay the attorney's fees, his attorney's fees, interest, and that's just for one employee. The law states we had to go back at least 2 years and possibly 3 years and contact every employee that worked for us and calculate the amount of penalties. The total amount for 156 employees during this 3-year period was over $825,000, not including attorney's fees or interest. This would be if every employee during this 3-year period joined the class action suit. Simply put, Mac & Bob's does not have over $1 million to pay all the servers and lawyers in this suit. In shock, our attorney advised us to settle with this individual instead of having his Texas attorney continue with the class action suit. This former employee then refused to sign a non-disclosure. His attorney filed a document requesting that he go public using Facebook and other social media to try and get more current and former employees to join the suit. His attorney filed a document requesting that he go public using Facebook and other social media to try and get more current and former employees to sign up. My immediate reaction was to go to the public ourselves. I wanted to call an employee meeting and explain the situation myself, and also go on Facebook on our company website. Our attorney indicated that if we settled the suit, the chance of a second class suit are rare. I felt his advice was correct and we settled the lawsuit. However, I had a bad feeling this former employee might try and recruit more former employees for his attorney in Texas. The statute of limitations is at least 2 years, so the date that this ends would be June 30th, 2020. The thought of waiting another possible lawsuit for 2 years would have been unbearable. We are now facing another class action suit from a different employee. I believe it is not a coincidence that the attorney involved is the same attorney in Texas. We didn't have to wait 2 years, it only took a week. We confirmed Mac & Bob's could never afford to litigate a class action suit like the one of the national restaurant chains. With the advice of our attorneys, we decided we had no real choice other than to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy reorganization. This attorney in Texas apparently thinks we have the revenue of a national chain. I drive a 2001 pickup with 323,000 miles on it. In many ways, I'm glad this happened so quickly. Now I can get this out in the open and not be worried about when I'll get the next call. Also, I want to tell our employees first in person before they hear from another source. We will not be settling this second class action suit because we cannot afford to do so. In so doing, we are committed to being as fair to our bartenders and servers as we can. What does that mean for Mac & Bob's? We've decided to file Chapter 11 for protection, but we will not be closing. It means all 100 of our hardworking employees still have their jobs while we go through this legal process. For all of our wonderful customers and dear friends, we will still be open for business as usual, and we still hope you come to dine with us. My partner and I are not ready to retire. We each have a daughter getting married next year. Many companies and corporations have gone through Chapter 11 reorganization and have come out of it successfully. We plan on doing the same as soon as possible. 38 years ago, I was 24 years old when I opened Mac & Bob's. I am now 62. This is affecting many people at Mac & Bob's, not just my partners and our families, but loyal employees like Keith Griswold, our general manager, who has been with us for 38 years. Beth Jones, our service manager, has worked for us for 16 years. Sandy Muse, one of our dishwashers, has worked with us over 20 years. Tui Ayat, a cook, who has worked in our kitchen since 1986. Jose Tapia, a server, just celebrated his 10th year anniversary with us. The only place that Seth Guthrie has ever worked is at Mac & Bob's. He started as a high school student rolling silverware, worked in the kitchen through college, and is now 26 years old and our current kitchen manager. Finally, Joey Dishaw, my partner's son, is 24 years old and is currently one of our managers. We hope, too, he will have a future in our restaurant. I would like to thank our attorneys, Todd Leeson and Andy Goldstein. I'm extremely lucky to call them both very good friends, even before this all happened. They both live a few blocks from me, right here in Salem. They are extremely good attorneys, and I'm fortunate to have them on our team. I would also like to thank Keith Griswold, who has been with us since the beginning in 1980. He and Beth Jones have worked diligently behind the scenes, along with my wife, Wendy, to generate all the employee data necessary to file, and finally Steve Mason for producing this video. Thank you all for listening and hope to see you soon at the restaurant. Thank you.